What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Draftapalooza, brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. We're drafting best ball teams all summer long here on Draftapalooza, and we are back for our Friday stream. We're going to be drafting some best ball teams here. But, of course, every time we do one of these, we got to start with the big news. And really the news item that I want to focus in on today, the big sort of not controversy, but I'm going to call it disagreement, and not just disagreement, but I'm going to call it disagreement in the sense of where I think I massively differ from the field in something, and we might profit from it, or we might get burned. So we'll have to see how that works out. But what I'm talking about is the Rashee Rice situation. So since our last DraftKings Draftapalooza, we've gotten information that, quote, Rashee Rice, his hearing has been set for with the NFL for September 30th, right? September 30th. What's up with that? The guy was already convicted. He's going to jail, felonies, the whole thing. And there's all the speculation why, like, Addison just so effectively. Let me explain what happens here. And I'm going to use Drew Davenport, who is like the legal update guy, I guess, for some of this information, but also, yeah, and of course the Judkins news as well. But also, this is really important because I believe once again it's either I'm really wrong about what I think, or the field is really wrong, and I hope that I'm right. So I'm going to share with you once again what I think is going on here, and then I'll kind of go here to the field. But so everybody's wondering what happened? Why would the NFL set a hearing date for September 30th? You don't have to have a hearing. They can tell him what the suspension is. And the only time you're getting this hearing is if you're effectively disputing the decision, the initial decision. Therefore, this is why I think there's a lot of things wrong here. So Drew Davenport, okay, he basically, to be clear, I think it's weird as all of you that hearing is until 2.5 months after plea date, blah, blah, blah. Let me address some of the questions. So I'm going to go over what he says, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Right, so he says, why isn't an automatic 6 games? So already 6 games. I believe that, let me start here. I believe that if he was told it's a 6-game suspension, there would be no hearing. I think he'd be like, okay, I'll take it, which is why I think this is wrong. But there's no one-to-one easy application of the NFL's personal conduct policy. Technically, the policy does trigger for assault of offensive that are felony level. So he's saying, well, there's some that technical part. Maybe they want to argue the fact that hey, even though he pled guilty, he wasn't actually convicted. It was a plea deal. The leg definitely not bothering me more. The suspension is way more bothersome. But I want to explain what sort of the field take is on this, and I'm going to give you my take. Right? Won't he get suspended for 6 and have it reduced to 4, he says? So he's saying that really doesn't take place anymore, this thing where they give you a number and then you get reduced. The new system is far more concrete. And so why is the NFL setting this out so far? I guess there's still issues, controversy vis-a-vis interpretation, PCP, and how Rice is covered. He might have pled guilty, but eventually this won't even be a conviction at all. It's basically a long dismissal, blah, blah, blah. I don't. So Drew is arguing from a legal standpoint that there are some technicalities within the collective bargaining agreement, and if you get this or that, or maybe this, he's arguing about technicalities. All right, whatever. The public sees Rice's behavior as worse than Addison's, and Drew Davenport begs to differ. He does not think that, and this is already where he's, I think, going wrong. He doesn't think that drag racing, hurting people, and then hit and running it, which drag racing has already killed people via NFL players. People have been killed doing this, and the NFL is sick of it. But Drew Davenport doesn't think that's that big of a deal. Again, not a critique of Drew Davenport. He's with the field. So this is what people think. And I'm going to tell you again why I think it's different. We'll find out. You're going to be like, Kevin, fucking Geek was wrong the whole time. Stupid. Or, wow, that dude fucking figured this shit out long before everybody else. I told you this about Deshaun Watson when it happened too. So He begs to differ. He thinks Addison is worse than Rashee Rice. I beg to differ with you, sir. Remember that mitigation and remorse are important to the league. So Drew's argument is, well, he was remorseful and eventually he turned himself in and blah, blah, blah. And he did all the right things after he did what he did, right? He's paid out millions of dollars in restitution, blah, blah, blah. Just the fact that he's paid out $1.3 million in civil restitution should tell you this is some serious shit that went down with Rice, right? He wants to do the right thing, good guy, this and that. I agree with you. Okay, he's a good fellow and he wants to do the right thing, et cetera, et cetera. I still believe my original guess of 4 to 5 games is where I'm leaning. He was at 65% to 4 to 5, 15% for 6. I'd be dumb not to consider the Flus as a red flag. So this is where I'm going different. Is it predicting 4 to 5 games? Maybe 20. And now he says, well, now after this news, he's increasing the likelihood of 6 games in his mind to 25%. Okay. Cool. Drew Davenport, legal guy for the NFL. It's his brand. This is kind of the consensus thoughts on some of this stuff. Fine. With the football guys, all of that. Dude, it's not going to be 4 games. So here's my take on it. Okay. My take is the fact that they didn't just give him a suspension and he took it is a bad sign. A bad sign for Rice in terms of how many games. It's possible that the NFL came out and said 10 games, 12 games, something massive. And so they said, whoa. We want to take restitution here. We want to do the right thing, but that's a lot of games. Why isn't it 6 games? Drew Davenport gave it only a 15% chance of being 6 games. So I think this is wrong. I think this is very wrong. I think he will be suspended for more, not less. Like the way that Drew says, well, I originally thought it was going to be 4 to 5. Now I'm kind of thinking it might be 6, 25% chance. I would say greater than 50% chance that it's 6 or more. Probably more like 8 or 10. So I think this suspension is going to be bigger than people think. Now let's understand the implications of that for best ball purposes. Guys, no matter what happens, this guy's having a hearing on September 30th. And chances are that suspension is going to be handed down and it's going to be immediate after that thing, right? Now, I'm seeing opinions floating around like, hey, maybe they'll delay the decision until next year. That might happen and it will render kind of, I'm not even going to take an L on it because even if that does happen, I'm going to say, all right, how could I have known that? But still, I think my contention the whole time has been that this suspension is not going to be 4. It's not going to be 2 games. Not going to be 6. This is a big suspension coming. The NFL wants to send a message. If it happens this year and you draft Rashee Rice and you get 3-4 weeks out of him, a 7-8 week suspension, the whole best ball season's done. You might get him back to the play. It might just work out okay. Let's say it was 8 games and it happens at week 5 and he comes back okay, we probably get him for the playoffs right in time. Will he be in game shape? So it could work out okay for people that take him in best ball. A 10-game suspension, if you don't mind it, and he comes back just in time. I contend that with his 5th round ADP, if you lose a player like that for most of the season, like I don't think he's cheap enough right now in round 5 that, I get him for the first 4 weeks and then he comes back to the play. All right, if he dropped enough, I can make an argument for that. I also think there's a possibility we're looking more at a 10 or 12 game suspension. I would say less likely. Ray, I don't, 8 to 7 seems like a weird number. I think 8 is the most likely number. So while Drew Davenport said only 25% chance it's 6 games and he thinks it's most likely 4 to 5. Okay. And if that's right, then definitely not the worst thing in the world for your best ball bags. That's for sure. I still wouldn't have taken him in round 3 or round 4 where he's been going for most of the last few weeks, but just be aware. It's games. It's not weeks. Weeks would be kind of like a cheat, right? No, it's games. It's definitely games, full games. And then keep in mind that although this being a suspension, I don't think there's a long ramp up. So if he starts the season and then gets suspended for 8-10 weeks, he comes back. I think he's back full force. But again, you already played 4 games. You get an 8-game suspension, so you come back week 13. It's a couple weeks before the playoffs. I think that could work out okay for best ball bags. There's a version that's worse, though, where he goes, he has the hearing, then they take 2 weeks to make a decision, and now it's week 8 or 9, and then the suspension comes in, and then you lose him for the playoffs. So you're playing a dangerous game if you draft Rashee Rice, especially at ADP, where we still haven't been given the big discount on him that we'd want. Now, second piece of news, guys, I will get to it, is Quinton Judkins. Still hasn't signed with the Browns, but it is, and his ADP has fallen off a cliff. Fine. Not practicing, not part of the preseason. Very bad, very bad. Not what we were looking for. But whatever his arrest was for, domestic violence, the prosecutor has chosen not to pursue any charges. So the NFL effectively will have to back off. Didn't do anything. No conviction. No suspension coming. No nothing. Grapefruit, I'll allow it with Judkins if I'm getting him in around 10, 11, like in a ridiculous cheap price. Sure, why not? Like I'll take my chances now on Judkins if his ADP continues to fall as it has been. It's certainly bad for Sampson and Ford. Those shares look really bad. But again, Judkins still hasn't signed. When he does sign, though, I would say right now is the time to draft him. The second he signs with that team, his ADP is going to go from. We'll see where it goes in today's draft. My guess would be like round 9 or 10. And the second he signs, that is going to move up 4 or 5 rounds. So there is some material edge to taking him potentially now. All right. You guys ready to draft some best ball teams? Or one? Let's get into it. We'll do another Millie Maker. Guys, before I just a reminder, actually, let me couple things here, but really important to know that football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. Right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer, and this is what I wanted to tell you guys about. The promo is active. See this? All these freebies I've got here in the lobby. I'm already getting tickets, getting free fantasy football Millie Maker. I've got a bunch of tickets. These are coming from my best ball entries. So they are live and happening right now. Enter a lineup in the $15 million best ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another best ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second chance to win big. It's easy. Just draft your team once. No weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically each week. Across the whole season, every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count towards your quest for a share of $15 million. Download the DraftKings app today. Draft one, get one. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right. There we go. But yeah, the promos are here. You got to get to the promos tab and just click on some of those, and you will get all kinds of freebies as I have been getting here on my DraftKings account. Do I think it's easier? Yes. Yes. Running back, really, I mean, the hardest part for the running back is pass protection. So we got to pay attention to, can they pass protect? And they know those plays, but running backs can just come on a team. We saw examples of like players who weren't even on a team just getting picked up midweek, and they could be the running back for the team. It's one of the easiest positions to learn. Run left, run right, run. There's only so many places you can run to, and they don't have to do complex things. They don't have to do anything complex. So, all right, with that being said, let's get into it. Best ball, Millie Maker. If you want to draft alongside me, these fill really, really quick. So we gotta get the entry in pretty simultaneous. So I'm just gonna do it right here. So you ready? Best ball, $15 million Millie Maker entry. 3, 2, 1. Enter. Not full. So guys, this is the first time I kind of got in one, 6 of 12. So if you want to draft alongside me, great. We're about to rock. Let's see what else is going on in the news. Fantasy football news. My guess at this point is that Judkins plays week 1. That'd be interesting. Listen, he's got a sign still. Let's see what Judkins. Is there any? Let's see if there's any fresh. 97th overall in the Eliminator. There's Fling. No big winner than you have who's scooping up Judkins. So everybody's really excited about Judkins. Judkins was really good in college. My favorite running back. And Quinton Judkins whenever. Snoop's fantasy headquarters. This guy. If he winds up being really good and doesn't and lands the starting job. I mean, it's a lot of things that need to happen there. Still, yeah. So there you go. This guy thinks he's his. Oh, all right, this is going a little too far back, but basically, there you have it. Judkins. You know, let's call it Twitter. The Twitter sphere is very excited about Judkins right now. But as far as I can tell, he's still on the sign with his team. He hasn't practiced. It's August 15th. But yeah, can running backs get acclimated very quickly to the NFL? Of course. But yeah, 9-10, acceptable. By the way, still a Browns running back on a crowded backfield. It's not the most exciting situation, but certainly a later round kind of freebie. You know who this really helps? People who missed their pick, like I did in a very recent, in one of my, was it a Millie Maker or one of my recent drafts? Like I missed a round. I got auto picked because that's how it goes for a round or two. And of course, like in round 10, when I got auto picked because I was distracted and it wasn't in stream, who did I wind up with? Judkins. And I was like, man, I got Judkins. Crap. And now I'm like, all right, I got Judkins. Nice. That might work out. Yeah. I think we learned on the Eliminator, Steven, that we want to draft that and we want to draft it early and we want to draft. I only wound up. So here's how disappointing this is. With the Eliminator, I only wound up with 25 entries or 28 will be my total. So it's a tough measuring stick. Yeah, baby, that's what's up. Yeah, I was just paying attention to something else over here, and I'm like, oh, I got a good hand. I look over, That's just that's one of the reasons why I love Draftapalooza streams, because my distraction is talking to you guys, not necessarily like playing some poker or doing some other stuff that will pull me that far away from what's going on screen. So let's keep an eye on this draft so far. All right. Chase, CeeDee Lamb goes second. Soups with Bijan. Yeah, you got to take Bijan when he drops like that. RB, we got Henry, Janty, and my favorite at this spot is Christian McCaffrey. So I'm going to take CM Sizzles here. There you go. Get that overlay, Ash. That's free money. You got to grab the free money when it's there. All right, let's just follow along with this draft a little bit, see what everybody's doing. We've got Soups in here with us. John Campbell's in the house, in the hizzy. I'm trying to see if I recognize any other name. Best Ball Bro is in the. Oh, it's good to see a Best Ball Bro here on DraftKings. The Best Ball Bros have come over. Gotta like that. So it looks like we got Soups, John Campbell, and myself repping Army. Got to kick it with the Army crew, right? FL Ratty, I think might be in here as well. That name rings a bell. So we might have another watcher going live in this draft with us. FL Ratty, Florati. It's a Floridian. So with so many people having Burrow stacks, I went different in the draft and got called out on X, took Chase Higgins and then Burrow. Oh, that is you. Okay, I thought it was you, Rad. There we go. Yeah, I thought I recognized it. And there we go. So we got Rad in here. So we got 4 in here. Ray Zanny, I'm confused by this. Who's calling you out? Once again, guys, note Chase Brown and they didn't leave him for me. They didn't leave him for me. Not cool. Not cool. So I think I'm going to do one of my rare. Should I do a Brock Bowers lineup? A luxury tight end? All right. I don't know if I love it. I thought it was Davis Maddock calling you out. Stalking. Just calling him out. Yeah, this was my first. So for me, this is one of the rare, I'll call it a rare luxury tight end draft. It's not something I've done. A reminder to everyone, of course. If we take a luxury tight end, drafts don't always look that good. But certainly it negates any thought of a luxury quarterback. At that point, you really just can't. So we can't. So avoid. We can't take another tight end for a very long time either. So nowhere where there's any other viable spots will we touch a tight end from here. The one nice thing about the no, I'm not double tight ending it. That is actually the double TE. That is a Ray Zanny special, double stud tight end. But I am not doing that. Is it Big Betty? You think? I feel it's crazy. It's crazy. It's pure madness. Double tight end, double stud. The deepest position group. Ray, I feel like once you win 200K against someone who hasn't won 200K, like I would just say, like, you could be all the best ball bro you want. If you've won the puppy and somebody else hasn't, then that person shut the fuck up. Like, what? You've reached the promised land. We're all just fantasy football dorks. What makes one better than another? There's no opinion that anybody here in the chat is giving that I'm like, oh, you're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. No. And even when you hear my opinion, like I said, I've been talking about the Rashee Rice situation all offseason, and I hope I qualify it as often as possible with, I don't have any specific information. I'm using common sense. I'm using logic. I'm using my reasoning skills. I'm using my years of playing fantasy football and paying attention to the NFL. But most of you guys are doing that too. And you've done this. And you've played, fantasy football for many years. I don't have any special information, but I do think that I'm probably right. So cash me outside if that's a problem. Like, what do you want? I think I'm right. I think that I'm right. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that everybody who drafted Rice this year is a donkey. Doesn't mean that. I was thinking that they were donkeys in the survivor type contests, because I genuinely didn't know. How would you know that they're going to put off the hearing until September 29th? Those people got a reprieve. All of those people lucked out. Everybody who in those survivor contests who took Rashee Rice, they got a reprieve here. It was a stupid draft. It was unnecessarily risky, and they did it, and they got a reprieve. Fine. I probably should have done Kittle there and just getting weird with double tight end. That would be super unique. Am I taking Judkins? If he drops far enough, if he's in the right spot, yeah. But remember, I think that with the no charges thing, everybody is now taking him in. And Judkins still isn't signed. He's still in a crowded backfield. He's still a running back on a bad team. So there are all kinds of reasons why Judkins is still not a very good pick. So it's like, I don't have it. And what makes Judkins a worse pick now is for the last week or for the last 3 weeks or month, everybody's been getting Judkins in the 12th round, 11th round, wherever he's gone. So those people will have a material advantage on us if we start taking him in round 7 or 8. So when players move up from where they were earlier, we're disadvantaged generally by taking them. Now, this is an appropriate drop for Breece Hall. Don't love him this year. Interesting. Trevion Henderson. Trevion Henderson, so explosive, looks so good. But certainly, as of right now, not in line to be to be any sort of a workhorse for his team. Henderson still looks like at best right now, it looks like a straight split situation in New England. More and more I read on it, the more I think Trevion just talent-wise will emerge. Oh, shit, I'm on the clock here. We need a wide receiver. Just going to emergency grab one. Got DJ Moore, one of the guys I like a lot this year. Look at how much Calvin Ridley. Talk about another riser in the rankings since we started these drafts. Calvin Ridley has one of the biggest ADP increases of anybody. We were taking Calvin Ridley in the Stephon Diggs zone in round 6, 7, 8 earlier this offseason. Really round 6 or 7. Now he's going in round 5. So, talk about a riser. Ridley moved up a couple of rounds since we started our best ball stuff. All right, is there a new eliminator? If there is one, I will certainly be playing it. Hell yeah. If something new launched, I will be playing that for sure. I love the format is great, and we will be playing those. We're going to try to win $1 million. We're going to try to win money in best ball everywhere we can. We're going to try to prove with these drafts that we're doing. I'm doing all of my drafts here in stream, or most of them. I've only now got a couple of slows going, but I've only started to do that. But the vast majority I've done in stream. And it feels like I'm drafting all the time, but I'm looking at the volume of entries and it's not that much. And just a reminder with the best ball format in general, the one thing I kind of like about it, and you just got to put the work in. Like, it's something that I like about the format, and you need to put the work in. There's no other way. You've got to just sit here. I don't think that people will be successful who are auto drafting these. I know I do have some friends that do believe that it's totally fine to just upload your projections, your rankings, and let it do its thing. I've definitely heard that opinion. And I'm not really sure. Oh, there goes Ridley, the Riddler. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but I have certainly heard that opinion. Hunter, Waddle. Let's look at the running backs. Kamara, Connor, Harvey, Pacheco. No, I'm going to go Hunter here. No, yeah, we'll go Hunter. Now, the reason I don't really take Devontae Smith, I'm going to leave that. Yeah, I did it. I don't like Devontae Smith that much he's fine, but he's probably better to just be stacked directly with Hurts. I don't think it's going to help my team. If I take Hunter, it kind of starts to put me on a path of DJ Moore. I've got DJ Moore. I've got Hunter. It's kind of put me on the path of a Caleb Williams kind of lineup. I might kind of build a little bit around that. So it just kind of puts me on that path a little bit. And that's a path I don't mind being on. Yeah. There it is, Nate. You know what? Here's what's cool about what you've done, and that you've been hanging out with me and you've been listening and watching these, and especially on these players. Like, am I supposed to self-tout? We've been talking up these guys all summer long, and now, so in sports betting, this is called beating the closing line, and in best ball, I don't know what anybody's called. I've just created this. I'm inventing something. Actually, Ray Zanny, you're in the best ball streets. Am I inventing this? I'm calling it beating the closing line, where we get on a player early. We get on Pearsall, we get on Ridley months ago, and we're taking them 3-4 rounds further back than they are. And now the closing line. So we got on Pearsall when he was round 9 or 10. And now Pearsall's moved all the way up to round, Here, we're going to take him with this next pick, as a matter of fact. So he's moved all the way up to round 6 from round 9. That's called beating the closing line value. Unless this fucker takes him, and then I'm going to get really weird with what I do. But we're beating the closing line. Same thing with Ridley. Ridley started out round 7 or 8. Now he's going to round 5. So all those shares of Ridley that we got in round 7 or 8, oh, yeah, fucker. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Getting weird with this one. We're going only Rome. Rome wasn't built in Odunze. Okay? And now we are effectively locking in that this will be a Caleb stack. We've got Rome. We've got DJ Moore. We can get Burden later. We can just build a super stack around. Oh, I'm not the only one to use that. All right. This is why I don't listen to the other shit, but I thought I just came up with something. Damn. See? Damn. You never know. But we are beating closing line value with some of those picks. I think DeAndre Swift is another one that I've been on all summer long. But I liked him more. Like, I haven't been getting him in like the last couple weeks because I was getting Swift, much later than where he's going now. Pacheco too. Like, these guys were going late, and now they just fly off the board. Like, Swift went multiple rounds ago. He went ahead of Chuba. Pacheco going right with Connor. This guy was available in round 10 earlier this offseason. So everything's changed. I just heard a report out of Minnesota on the running back situation. And in that report, I got a pick coming up, but I'm hearing that all of this talk about Mason and Aaron Jones being in a split 50-50 has not really been what's played out at training camp. And so in these reports, they are saying, and again, not my report, not at training camp, they are saying that, no, Aaron Jones continues to sort of be like the 70% with Mason coming in at 30%. No, Ray, Soups is telling me I didn't invent it. So not that I can copyright. Listen, I come up with a lot of expressions. I don't know. And then sometimes they've been used. I thought I came up with the nuts to describe the winning lineup in DFS tournaments. I did that many, many years ago. And then years later, everybody uses it. And then I'm like, man, did I start that trend? Or is that just something that everybody said? And I said it too. I don't know. How would I know? How could you possibly know an answer to that? Okay, keeping an eye on the board here. We've got Judy, Addison, some decent wide receivers still on the board. There's Judkins. He wants to move up. Oh, took Judy. Running back. Got a while at QB. Running back. Tyrone. Yeah. So I've got my third running back, Tyrone Tracy. We've got DJ Moore and Rome Odunze in a stack. Hunter. So now we're going to try to build a little correlation as the rounds progress here. Been taking a lot of Josh Downs this year. Interesting to see Juwan Jennings falling as much as he has. People don't like that calf injury that he's got going on. They don't like it. I get it, but I think here we're already kind of getting to the too far. You got Cooper Kupp sitting at the top of the ADP board, and Cooper Kupp is a really sketchy pick. Whenever you take him, you just don't know, is he washed? But he is on a Seattle team that everybody's counting out, and I think everybody might be wrong. Think about, like, why is everybody's counting out Seattle? Not a good team. No passing attack. Well, they got Darnold. He was pretty good last year. They've got Jackson Smith and Jigba. We all like him. Cooper Kupp. If Cooper Kupp's not washed, What if he's not washed? What if he's fine? Then okay, they got Cooper Kupp. They've got Jack Smith and Jigba. They've got some deep ball guys on the outside. Is it the scariest offense I've ever heard of in all my years of playing this? No, it's not the scariest. It's not the worst. Let's see what's going on in the draft. I like to pay attention to what people are doing and see when the runs are coming. We got Baker Mayfield off the board. So we are, this is kind of where the mid-level quarterbacks are going to start to drop. This and the next round, we're about to pick. I'm keeping an eye on the QB situation here. Running backs available, still acceptable. Judkins, oh shit! But we're gonna wait on that. We've got some decent. Oh man, this guy ran ahead of me. These guys are just grabbing my guys left and right. Tight end, Warren, Loveland. Yeah, okay. All right, let's just grab another wide receiver here in Josh Downs and keeps it going one more round. Oh, shit. $100 per entry? One lineup in that is like 10 in the other one. The problem with that kind of approach is I don't mind doing one. I might do one and just end my thing. And basically, you know, you just need to get to week 3, get your money back. I think it's very doable to get your money back. But I also think when people put that much money on the line, they pay closer attention to the actual, like, what's going on. All right, so my next pick, I definitely am going to want to probably grab my QB when it comes back around to me. Let's kind of keep an eye on how things progress here. Keep in mind, when we take Caleb, that's a mid quarterback, so I need, even though I'm building a stack around him, I will definitely need multiple other quarterbacks on this team. So I don't want to allow the QB position to get so thin, and we might be at risk of that here in the next couple rounds. I don't want to allow the QB position to get so thin that I only end up with like one acceptable quarterback. See this guy here grab 2 in a row. Let's just look at what everybody has, but this guy's got 2. Most of the other teams, except for Soups, looks like, except for the Army crew a little bit, Soups and myself have at least 1. So we'll see what happens with these next few picks. Yeah, Seattle offense not that bad. And Todd N, I agree with you here on Miami. Miami feels like a dumpster fire. And it's weird because, like, right now everybody's healthy and they should be fine, but I get dumpster fire vibes from Miami right now. And it's all because of, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but you've got a combination of Tua's fragility, Tyreek Hill's fragility, and the fragility of every other player on that team that's just so, on the offense in particular, that's so aggressively tied into Tua for whatever reason. I think part of that is because they've lacked not even a quality backup QB, but even an acceptable league basic minimum acceptable backup QB. They don't have it. Oh, there's Coleman. I thought he was gone. I must have sorted him away somehow. I would have taken Coleman. I did not see that he was available. I'm just going to give you guys a quick opinion. I have Coleman ahead of Khalil Shakir, ahead of Josh Downs, ahead of Godwin, ahead of Kupp. I probably would put Coleman right up here. So why didn't I take him? I didn't see him. I didn't see him there. Wow. This is interesting. So they left me Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Goff, Caleb. Now, I know I need Caleb for my stack, but I'm not going to pass up on Mahomes. We'll try to get Caleb on the next round. Judkins still hanging around. So he's still hanging around. Reminder for everybody watching now, guys, we've been back testing the 2024 NFL season using the domination station, honing in on our skills, getting our settings right, making sure that we're able to use the domination station optimizer in a way that produces tournament winning lineups. If you've been missing those, if you haven't seen them live, you can go to the dfsarmy.com. Let me pull it open. So you can go to DFS Army. Under NFL, we have a really cool thing. It's called basic training. Okay, now it's not something you're going to see anywhere else because other sites just let you fail pretty much, right? That's what they do. Give me your money, and then they don't care about what you're doing. Hang on, let me get this in here. My pick is coming up, so let's get our pick. Let's think it through, and then I'm going to show you the basic training tab on DFS Army, where you can get all of the skills you need to smash. We're going to try to get Caleb here on the next pick. So let's load that up. QB position. Yeah, if I wait, I'll be lucky to get him. If I wait, I'm definitely not going to get him. So this is the time. Yeah. I love it. That's a great call. But you got to get to week 17, Ray. But we have to assume every lineup will. So, yeah, let's build around. I mean, Sam Darnold's my most owned quarterback, and I'll take that. I haven't been as I don't have as much of Bryce Young, but I definitely have some Bryce Young, and I like Bryce Young stacks. Very easy to build. Very fun to build. Bryce Young stacks. Because you get, outside of Ted McMillan, all the other players connected to Bryce Young are available in like the nether rounds of this draft. But let me jump over to DFS Army real quick. I'm going to show you something. Here's the NFL homepage. And you scroll down over here and you see the basic training tutorials, right? No one else, this is not something that other sites have. And a lot of people don't like to do them because basic training is boring. But if you want to be good at DFS, this is where you should go. So got your tutorials, bankroll management stuff, and we are adding in back testing. Here they go. So here are the newest back test streams. I just did another one last night. Weeks 1 through 2, weeks 3 through 5. Last night we did weeks 6, 7, and 8. So the links for the back testing are right here under DFS Army basic training. We've done a ton of back test stuff, a lot of optimizer tutorials here, and we're constantly updating these. If you ever see something that something that you want us to update, let us know. And Tattoo wants me to mention that we have a pretty sweet swag store as well under the merch tab, where you can get sweet t-shirts. It's got a turd on it, Shark Lab, all your favorite personalities. What would Bobby Wow do? Helmets up. A lot of cool stuff here. Stickers, mugs, everything you need. Support Deezus, printing money, ATM machine. That's what's up since 2015. I like it. I need to get one of these for myself. So swag store under the merch tab as well for those who would be interested in such things. All right. I'm up in 6 picks. So let's update where we're at here. Got Pat Mahomes just because he was there, and I couldn't pass it up. Got Caleb for our big stack. We've got Adunze, Caleb in a combo. So I'm going to start looking at the rest of my team here. I've got 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, 1 stud tight end. So let's take a look here. We'll start by ADP as always. Kind of start looking at what's going on the draft board. Wide receiver group. Oh, Keenan Allen. Get him moving on up. Luther Burden's still hanging around. We might get Luther Burden on the next pick, which I wouldn't mind adding one more little taste to our stack here. I'm assuming that, yeah, our TE stack is gone. So if no one takes Burden here, if John Campbell doesn't do it, don't do it. You don't want him. I will take him and complete our super Chicago super stack. Fucking got a Chicago. We got a deep dish pizza going over here. We've got an Italian beef out of Chicago. A little dip in the au jus. A full Chicago special. You like that? An Italian beef. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know. I'm not going to. What the hell am I talking about? Chicago beef. Italian beef, not Chicago beef. Italian beef. Bryce Young goes, Herbert. So, yep, the run on QB is pretty much at its conclusion. And what I normally do in these drafts, oh, how the mighty hath fallen. CJ Stroud 2 years ago was like pick 3 in Dynasty QB. And after last season's super dud, no one wants him. Sad. Sad. It's really sad. All right. So our team, once again, we're at 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end, but we got a stud at the tight end group. So let's continue to look through, sort by ADP, see if anybody is popping. Tajay Spears is there. Samson, Trey Benson, 143. Yeah, I'm going to take Trey Benson here, guys. Trey Benson is somebody I just have a lot of exposure to this year. He is a running back that I have pegged to sort of like really benefit massively from injury to the starter on his team. And I like those spots. So those are situations I'm looking for. And if it's right, you know, Trey Benson, the people who won, no, it's not. Italian beef is not Italian sausage tattoo. No. Italian beef is like a roast beef sandwich, but dipped in au jus and with some peppers and onions. It's a roast beef type of sandwich. Have I done anything on drafters? I have not. Nothing on drafters. Is there any benefit? No. This is the DraftKings takeover. Yeah, it's kind of like a French dip. I don't, you know, it's not like super different. The dip itself, the sauce may taste a little different than your standard French dip. But that's what Italian beef is. And I like a French dip. I also love roast beef. So there's a place in Brooklyn. I know I'm going a different way. I do like overlay. Any overlay, that's a reason to play. But there's a place in Brooklyn. There's 2 places. One place called Rollin' Roasters, and the other one is called Brennan and Cars. Oh, Ash Larry, if you came to America and I took you to have some of our food, you wouldn't even be able to look at beans and toast or whatever the hell you maniacs eat in UK. Toast on beans on bread? No. Nope. Beans on bread, bro? Where's the meat? Where's the beef? British food is gross. I saw a whole comparison of UK food versus American. It's not the only gross food in Europe. Like I would say Europe weirdly has a lot of bad food, like gross food. Germany, oh, gross. The Nordic places, gross. How dare you? Hold on. Oh, wait. Oh, Jalen Wright, how dare you? Let's see what's going on at tight end. Brenton Strange. Okay. All right. Anybody correlative? Get my guy Wandy in there. Nordic places, food, Sweden. It's all gross. Swiss, disgusting. Who thought that fondue is how you should cook something in hot cheese? It's a lunatic, a maniac. I once went to a place called like fondue something or another, and it was like the Melting Pot, it was called. It's a restaurant. I guess it's Swedish. I don't know. The Melting Pot. So fondue is so gross. So there's like, I'm in this melting pot restaurant, and they bring out these meats, and they're like, you cook it by dipping it in this like boiling water, like boiling broth. So you're fonduing your steak. Like if you go to the melting pot, yeah, dessert is the cheese thing with fruit, but they also are just going to straight give you to eat. Like if you want to eat a meal there, you have to fondue it. So it's not like they give you food. It's like you got to fondue up your food here. Let me just make sure. All right, we need a tight end at this point. So our guys came back around to us. I get it. Everybody's kind of like skipping tight ends for now because we're at the end of the wide receivers with a pulse zone. I kind of want Peanut Tillman here, and we'll wait. So I'm gonna take Tillman, Peanut. All right, so back to the fondue story. So they bring you out these meats, and then the way you cook it is you take it and you dip it into this like beef broth, and then you eat it. So I'm just gonna. That's fucking gross, dude. I don't want boiled meat. What the hell is that? So like boiled meat? You want me to put it in the broth is sucking the flavor out of the meat, and then I eat like this dry, unseasoned piece. I'm like, this is gross. This is like a straight not good. And then they bring the cheese thing out with the bread and the fruits and the vegetables. And you know what else? That shit's gross too. Like I don't like, it's too much cheese. Sorry, Swiss people. No, you see, this is Indian food. The only reason you like people like Indian food. I feel like the only reason I like Indian food is because like the local cuisine there is so tasteless in UK that you got to like learn to like Indian food. Gross. Let me tell you something. You know what you need in UK? Eat hamburgers. Hamburgers. It's not hard. Pizza. Not the crappy pizza that you have in UK. Actual good pizza. You get it going. Wait, am I on the clock? Up. Keep an eye. All right, keep it on the draft board. All right, here we go. I've told you I haven't really tried like I've had fish and chips. That's cool. I'll take some fish and chips. It's not bad, but definitely not an everyday food or a frequent food for me. Too greasy. Yeah, here we go. Hunter Henry. What QBs are left? All right, they're gone. Long John Silver is going out of business, man. Long John Silvers. They're not long for being in business. European food, though. French food is obviously pretty good. Italian food is great. Greek food, very good. So, like, when you get closer to the Mediterranean, level up. I think Greek is my favorite. Everybody says Italian. I love Greek food. Give me a gyros all day. What are Greek people? Everything Greek. Greek is like a very simple. They got that tzatziki sauce. So good. Yeah, I'm on team Greek over Italian. I like Italian food too. But I've been to Italy. I've been to Greece. But I usually go to places with good food. Like I have not been to UK. Oh, Japanese might be the best cuisine of all. Japanese people, they like for them, food is an art form. It's like a business. It's a science. They're very serious about it. Hollywood Brown. It's like everybody I'm looking at just pops and goes away. I don't like Quinton Johnston too much. So this group is pretty toast. Yeah, let's go Will Shipley. Now they writing letters because me miss me. Lasagna, your thing? No. Ivan, you're right. Yeah, Japanese food is crazy. Japanese barbecue sauce is superior to all others. They really take a lot of care with their stuff. And lasagna's fine. I had a really good lasagna when I was in Italy. Really nice one in Rome. I also had a lot of bad food in Rome. Rome is not a place where all the food is good. There are tourist traps all over the place in Rome that are terrible. Tourist traps, specifically in the city of Rome. Not so much in Florence or even in, not even as much in Venice, but Rome, tourist traps all over the dangerous. Terrible food for the most part, unless a local points you to a place. Like if you just meander into a place in Rome, you might be getting tourist trapped, especially if it's in one of those pagodas around like something that you'd go see, like the Trevi Fountain or something like that. If you're anywhere near that, you're getting garbage. You don't want that. Yeah, see, that's what's up. I feel like a bacon, egg, and cheese. I grew up in Long Island, Big Betty Beaver, and in my high school, we used to leave, like me and my buddies. We had a weird schedule in school, and also my high school, you were kind of able to just leave. You weren't supposed to, but like you kind of were able to, and you could walk to town. So, yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, egg, and cheese every day. The deli, bacon, egg, and cheese. Second period. That's where I'd be. Yeah, see, tattoo, well, I don't know. It's like, just because you're from the South doesn't mean you're repulsed by anything that's not barbecue food. It's not, expand your horizons. Got to expand the horizons. All right, we've got 2 tight ends, 7 wide receiver, 5 running back, 2 quarterback. Did not get all the quarterback goodness that I wanted, but that's what's up. What's up, Cohiba? We got Danny Dimes. And I think I'm going to take him as my QB3. I fully expect Danny Dimes to start a lot of games this year. Just by default of Anthony Richardson being hurt all the time. I'll tell you what I can't get down with, since we're talking the South tattoo, and we already shit on UK and half of Europe in their food. I'm not a sausage and biscuits guy either, or sausage gravy. I didn't enjoy it. I like the biscuit. I don't like the sausage gravy. What are you going to do? Take me outside? Give me a beating? I don't like it. Tried it. It's like, what the fuck is this? Thick ass gravy in the morning, just not my thing. Too much. Sausage gravy. Ivan, you're an up north guy, right? Like this is Southerners, man. They put this crazy thick ass gravy on everything. Oh, that's extra gross. That's extra gross what you just said. Extra gross. That made it worse. Yeah, LA, you ain't eating that crap. LA, oh, no way. Let's see here. We got 2. All right, Juwan Johnson. Yeah. Now, man, clearly been avoiding anything to do with the Saints like the plague this year. I hope you guys are avoiding. I don't have any real Kamara exposure in best ball. Can I make I'm going to make a prediction about that. Like, I didn't get any Kamara exposure. And I think in the early part of the season, it's going to burn me a little bit. He's going to have a couple of good games, and everyone's going, oh, it's Kamara. He's all so good, so good. Look, he's catching 10 catches, 10 receptions. Look at all the target volume. Early season. And then he's going to realize I'm 29 years old. My team has no chance of winning a game. My quarterback is fucking Tyler Shook and the rattlesnake, Spencer Rattler. Team clearly does not even want to win because Jamo Winston, Kirk Cousins, all of these real NFL starting quarterbacks are available. Yeah, Ivan, these are donkeys. Part of why I do this, I don't want, most of these guys are morons. They're fucking stupid. Kamara is the steal of your draft on a team that's projected to be the worst team in the NFL. Well, they're going to throw to someone. How's that worked out in the past? When that team dies, the whole thing dies. Yeah. Does Kamara have some PPR upside? Sure. Okay. But PPR upside alone is not enough. He's going where other studs are. Real players on real teams that will win games. By week 6, Kamara is going to be like, I can't deal with this shit. My ankle hurts. I'm on. He's not going to play. And if he is playing, the team's like, what benefit do we have rolling out this old guy when we can't win a game? We got to go generic, Ash. We got to go generic with our comparisons. I can't say like, listen, somebody's English mom might make amazing meals at the house, for all I know. Like home cooking could be good. Yeah, English takeout. We got to judge based on the takeout. Basically, I can't judge based on like what you make at the house. I don't know what that is, but I can judge, and everybody's different. But we got to judge the takeout food. I live on the Uber Eats app. I go to a country, the first thing I do is get an Uber Eats app. Todd N, am I maxing out the DK Millie Maker? There's no way I can. I'm not able to max out any of these because the physical time it takes to do these drafts and pay attention is not something where I can max any of them. I'm just not able to. So I'm doing these streams. You're watching most every draft that I'll have in this contest. You will have had the ability to witness in real time. That's all I could say. Like, you're here with me for most of these drafts. Do I want another wide receiver or another running back here? I'm going to take a backup running back here, DJ Giddens, just for shits and gigs. Get one more backup running back. I think the way that you win these is certainly to have good depth at wide receiver, of course, but catching the running back coming on strong late in the year, that's yeah. No, but I won't have this. I wish I could have the time and the energy. No, I wish I just had enough time to max these out, but it takes like an hour to do one in real, or it takes a DraftKings draft takes about 45 minutes straight. So I'm like, there's only so many hours in the day. And if I'm full focused on this, I'm not able to do something else. So yeah, no, I don't see maxing it out. I see having maybe I'll probably get to 10, 15 lineups in the Millie Maker. I've got something like 15 in the play action. There are some other contests here. And like I said, I'm kind of working on, I'm hoping to, and I'm working on trying to set up a situation where I can create some sit and go leagues that we can all enter. I still haven't figured out the technical part of that, but like how to set it up so that we can all click one link and go to the same thing and then have a draft against each other. So I think that's another fun thing that we can do in leagues. I prefer leagues overall. That is my favorite. That's why I like certain formats. I like leagues because let me put it like this. It's difficult to judge ourselves and our skill set based on a contest with 50 million entrants. Like, how do I know if I'm good at this? I can't judge based on, well, what was my result this year? Because there's so much variance in such a giant contest. So I don't really know how to use that to make a determination to say, oh, I'm good at DFS. Or not DFS, I'm good at best ball based on this contest. I can win it, and that would be variant. I can lose it. And since I can't get enough lineups in to really get... So where I can... judge is if I do a bunch of leagues against 12 people and am I winning those? The same way I judge myself at fantasy football based on like how many redraft leagues did I cash in? Did I make the playoffs in? Did I win? And if you're in just one, you can't really, like I said, judge because there's variance. But if you do 5, 10, now you can start to say, all right, did I turn a profit this year from fantasy football? Did I turn a profit from best ball? So my goal is always to turn a profit. I want to chase millions, but I also want to turn a profit. Speaking of which, I don't know if it's out yet, but my how to be a profitable player on DraftKings in 2025 video is imminent. If it's not on the YouTube channel here, the DFS Army YouTube channel, it will be very, very soon, well, maybe by the end of the day. So keep that in mind. That's a good one to watch because we really get into, I focus on contest selection and I show you the math of why, because on the same topic of judging yourself, there's Eli Mitchell. I like him as a late pick. I wish I would have remembered it. Who is that? John Campbell. Good pick there with Mitchell at the end. So Waller, very late. I like that too. So a couple good picks here in the last round. Always good to pay attention to who people are taking in the last round. Alik Ayomanor. Okay, interesting. I got Tolbert. I thought he was like, why is he still there? Tucker's on the field a lot. He'll get you some points. James is a really interesting pick as well. Yeah, the no sweat is crazy. Soups, you got to put your money in on over there and play it. But where was I? Where was I going with it? Yeah, on the video that I made about how to be profitable, I show the math of why most people judge themselves like a lot of people get frustrated with DFS and they want to quit because they're like, I haven't made money. They're like, well, what are you doing? As sort of the de facto head of DFS Army, right? I get DMs from people. I've been doing everything right. I'm doing everything that you said, and I'm not making money. What's going wrong? So I will get in a conversation with them. All right, let's start with, what do you mean you're not making money? Explain. Well, I enter the, and it's always the same. I do everything you said and I don't make money. All right, well, when people say I do everything you said, I don't know what that means. Back it up. Tell me what you did last week. I say, well, I put 20 entries in the play action on DraftKings and I spent $60 and I only got back 25. And I've been losing, or that happens every week, and I'm sick of losing. I'm tired of it. And it's not just the main slate. You're doing the same thing for the showdown and all of that. And at some point, you're like, man, I keep losing money, max entering these 20 entry max contests, and I keep losing money. I must suck at DFS. This sucks. Your site sucks. Everything sucks. You suck. Everybody sucks. To which I say, you're not doing anything wrong. The fact that you didn't win the play action this week doesn't mean that you suck. There's 300,000 entries in there. You put 20 in. Your chance of winning is 20 out of 300,000. It's really low, 0.00001%. What did you think was going to happen? So I get into the math of why, just because you're not cashing in the play action or in the biggest tournament, the Millie Maker, that's super top heavy, doesn't mean you're bad or you're not playing a profitable way to play this game, which is fine. If you want to do lotto tickets, that's fine. Just lotto tickets, fun. $20 in a dream. Yes, that's right, Ash. Most of your money needs to go into, most of your money needs to be 80% have to be budgeted for either head-to-heads, triple ups, 5x, 10x. The multipliers are where it's at in DFS. Small tournaments as well. Tournaments, like, what do the pros do? Guys, I talk to all the pros. I know these guys. They make their money in the $5,000 20 entry contest. That's what they're putting their effort into. The three-man $10,000 thing. That's what they're trying to make money on because they know they can win those consistently, and their skill edge will go up against a smaller enough number of people that they will truly determine if they belong or not very quickly. And if they belong, they know that they can do it. They also enter the big ones. There's I can count on one hand the number of players that exist living on just GPP max entry, and those people are very comfortable with massive variance. They're good. And it's mentally very draining. I remember one of these guys I follow, literally, he said for an NFL season had lost $700,000 or $800,000 before he finally won a Millie Maker and got it all back. Are you comfortable losing $700,000 or $800,000 before you finally get a hit win? Because that's what these guys are doing. And if that's not your headspace, dude, once I get down 700, I'm not still going. So, unless you're absolutely proven that that's a way of playing that you like, that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be putting most of your money into winnable contests that you can take advantage. I want to find my math sheet. Let me hang on a second. Let's see if I can find it. I built this sheet. I want to show you guys it. I did a whole video on it. So yeah, here it is. I found it. So I'm going to show you the math sheet, the basic math sheet that I had put together for that video. And I don't know why I got into this, but I think it's interesting. So I did this little sheet here, and I did a hypothetical $20 entry. And here are various contest types. You got your Millie Maker, your large GPP, your small single entry, and then some multipliers and double ups. So hypothetical $20 entry, top 50%, this is the only one that's paying you, the double up. You get the top 25%, and this is really interesting. This is where I thought it got really interesting. If you got a top 25% lineup, almost every contest type, except for the 10x and 40x, you get a 0. So they got nothing. But for every other contest type, you only got 1.5x your money back. You're not even doubling. The double up almost got you to double. And the rest of these guys are just paying back 1.5x. All right, fine. Top 20%, whatever. Now let's move up to top 10%. Wow, I did really well. Still only getting 1.5x on Millie Maker and on a large GPP or a 2x. Like you can only put, if I did 100 lineups, I'm only putting 10 of them in the top 10%. I'm not even barely doubling my money on those 10, and I lose all the money on the other ones that didn't get there. But look what happens as we get the smaller SE. Okay, this is a little bit more better. So now instead of, now I'm getting 2x, 2.5x. Okay, 10x. Look how much better it looks when you get a top 10% lineup in the 10x multiplier. $30 or $200? Which one would you rather have? All right. How about top 5%? Still better in the 10x. How about top 2%? Only here does one, like, still, if you're in the Millie Maker or large GP, this one should be the most dramatic. You built a top 2%. It's hard to build a top 2% finishing lineup. It's hard to do that. You got to put a lot of lineups in. Well, the Millie Maker and the large GPP are barely paying you anything. For no reward. You barely rewarded for it. This is why those contests drain your bankroll. Now, the small GPP, there we go. This would be 100 entry style GPP. Now we're talking. The 10x multiplier is still right there with it. And then, of course, this is where the 40x multiplier starts to kick in. Top 1%. Once again, even the 10x is beating the Millie Maker. It's beating the large GPP. The small SE is beating the 10x here. The 40x is beating all of it. And only until you get to a top 0.01%er do these other contests even start to be comparable to the returns you get on the 10x and the 40x. What does it all mean, guys? Again, I did a whole video on it, but what it all means is more outside of a tournament first place win, which is why we enter those other contests. We want to get that first placer. But outside of that little sliver of chance that you take down first place in a tournament, it's virtually always better just to be in a multiplier or some other contest or even a smaller SE where you can win that one. Like this would be a win, right? A smaller single entry, top 1% is effectively first place. So outside of a top 5 finish in a Millie Maker, a top 10 finish in a Millie Maker or in a slant, really a top 10, which is 0.001%, you're almost always better in these other contests. So that's just like a lot of why I think people lose money on DraftKings and FanDuel that are good. Listen, if you suck, you suck. But if you're a good player, you're an advantage player, you have a lot of information, this is why. So you want to pay attention to your contest selection and focus on these 3 contest types. Got a whole video coming out on that. All right, guys. Let's do a quick recap of this draft. Soups, you said you like your draft here. Let's just get a look at Soups and John Campbell here. Soups, you started Bijan, Jonathan Taylor. Got a big group of wide receivers in a row. Even Addison, don't mind him. Going to be out for a few weeks, but you're getting a bargain price on him. I think I would take Judy ahead of Addison, though. First QB for Soups. Geno. What? This is a wild one. Soups. Your first quarterback is Geno, then Anthony Richardson and Dart. and you love this one, man, this is a dangerous lineup. But I guess what I would say for this one is you probably get Dart starting later in the season. And you got a lot of studliness above here, but I don't know. That is a crazy weight on QB for you. Let's see how that one goes. Wild. John Campbell got the stud quarterback, 3 stud running backs, and then we start taking our wide receivers. Yeah, Mims in there. Torrey Horton, Adonai Mitchell, who's been tearing it up in camp. So you're on top of that news. Pretty good overall draft here as well. And of course, I started with CM Sizzles, Bowers, luxury tight end, Kyron Williams. We had to get some wide receivers on board. We got DJ Moore, Rome, and Hunter. And at this point, I said, fuck it. Let's go all in on Chicago. Chicago. Got Josh Downs here. We got the Caleb Williams stack going and filled out our Chicago stack with Burden. So I have all 3 wide receivers from Chicago tied in with their quarterback. That should be exciting. And then, of course, we just filled this thing out with backup running backs. We got Daniel Jones late and a bunch of backup running back types like Giddens, Shipley, and Trey Benson, who can all elevate to a starter. So I think this team could have some legs. All right, man. That'll do it for this one. Draftapalooza. We'll be back next week. More of this goodness. Again, thanks to DraftKings for sponsoring the Draftapalooza. DraftKings Best Ball Week is coming up. The buy one, get one free is happening. They're actually giving flash offers as well in the promo section. So if you're doing these, like I said, I've been winning tickets to like free tickets and entries and stuff when I enter these best ball contests. So DraftKings wants to fill this thing up. Let's enjoy it. Let's take advantage and, get your BOGOs and all that stuff in there, guys. Have a great weekend, anyone. 5:30, the live MLB show here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. Like, subscribe, notifications, promo code DFSA25 to get $50 off the full season of NFL. It's $250 for the year. It's $20 a month. It's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. You get projections, all our stuff. So make sure to get signed up, guys. I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.